Hi there YouTube, this is the Magnus bringing you another Total War Warhammer online ladder battle. This time my opponent chose Bretonnia, and of course I took Chaos because I just can't get enough of it. Got 4 Forsaken, 2 Chaos Warriors with Halberds, 2 Dragon Ogre Shaggoths, 1 of the Aspiring Champions, a Sorcerer of Death, and Kolek Sun Eater, my favorite dudes. Just so huge. Very much outnumbered. I've got 406 men against 973 of Bretonnia. So let's take a look at what they've got here. Looks like 3 units of peasant bowmen. Behind them, spearmen at arms on each side. A front line of, looks like, foot squires and 3 foot squires, 2 battle pilgrims. He's got 2 of the Grail Guardians. He brought just a standard Lord, the Damsel of Life for healing, and I think that's going to be everything. So, playing against Bretonnia, my thought with this build was, I know he's almost certainly going to bring Cav, which the Dragon Ogre Shaggoths are going to do well against, and of course the Halberds, and I have them out on the flanks to avoid any kind of foolishness there. And then as far as the infantry, generally the Bretonnians don't have a lot of armor, so the Forsaken with their hyper-aggressive damage dealing is going to fit just fine. And then of course I bring 1 Aspiring Champion just for helping out with morale, keeping everybody on the field, keep leadership high. With my Sorcerer of Death, I brought Fate of Buna and Soul Leech. So I'm going to put that, Spirit Leech, I'm sorry, put that down on the Damsel of Life, because if I allow him to heal, I could definitely be in trouble. No healing is chaos, and because of how expensive your units are, you're usually outnumbered to start with. So you're going to see, I notice his Cav is hanging out near the center, so I pull my Halberds in. I don't want to waste them in the infantry engagement, and they're not going to do as well as the Forsaken anyways, and I don't want them necessarily eating the charge. I send my leadership group right after the Damsel. I want to take her out as quickly as possible, again to prevent her being able to heal my enemy here. You're going to see these battle pilgrims did not stick around for very long, but out on the flank my Forsaken are getting picked apart by his bows. Right now I don't have anything really to spare to go after his archers. I'm going to put down a nice blast of lightning here where his cavalry are and some of his infantry. Now I pull the Halberds into the center to go after his cavalry, hoping that's going to make the difference. Still hunting down this darn Damsel of Life. Can't for the life of me get her to go down, so I hit her with another Spirit Leech and just start pounding on her here with the Shaggoth crew, and she's not going to last too much longer. I use the Chaos Sorcerer of Death to help out these Aspiring Champions and picking on the Peasant Bowmen. That's going to send them into a flight, and you're going to see he has a much larger amount of men here, but I have the right things. Chaos Warriors with Halberds are a great counter to the Grail Guardians. Not the best necessarily, because of course the Grail Guardians are anti-infantry, but still very favorable in my way here. And we take out the healer, so now we can start working on his Cav. So I'm going to hit his Cav with the Dragon Ogre Shaggoths from this side, while hitting him with the Halberds from the other. So no matter what, he's going to have his back turned to an anti-large unit. Now he's well blobbed up here, but that's really not doing him any favors since he doesn't have healing. If he did, that'd be a whole different matter. So now that these Peasant Bowmen have been chased off a good bit, I'm just going to send the Aspiring Champions doing the same thing to these Peasant Bowmen. And I have 1 unit of Forsaken over here holding down 2 infantry and his Paladin, and have been for quite some time, so I consider that a really good deal. So again, just working on his Cav over here. You can see he's putting up stand your ground, but I have a pretty good surround on his guys. I'm going to use the Chaos Sorcerer of Death again, just to work on some Peasant Bowmen here, because he can interrupt them, and he's not great in melee obviously. I'm going to put some lightning down right on top of this giant blob. It's going to do quite a bit of damage to his men, and you're going to see that leadership really starts to become an issue here as we start chopping down on his Lord. Even his Lord is running out of the will to fight here, and just gonna work him as much as we can, try to kill him and get him off the field. Back here, my Forsaken, or Aspiring Champions now, are pinning down the Paladin after having chased his bowman away. Now that his Lord has broken, we're going to go right after the Paladin. We want to get rid of that leadership core as quickly as we can, because the Bretonnians, if you get rid of their leaders, they're very susceptible to terror. And as you see there, he gets worked down really quick. And now it's all but over. His men start to retreat, and that's going to be the end of it. So, good game to my opponent, Hussar. Had a lot of fun playing against him. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape. Kolak, Beast Mode, 68 kills, did extremely well. Chaos Sorcerer Death, Fate of Buna, and Spirit Leech. Hard to argue with those abilities. They're just so darn good. The Aspiring Champions were champions chasing his bowman around and getting some kills here with 40 kills. The Forsaken were okay. They definitely did a good enough job to chase off his infantry pretty quick. The Chaos Warriors with halberds were clutch. They did a great job against this cavalry and some mop up there. And of course, the stars of the show, the Dragon Ogre Shaggoths, as good as gold as they always are. So this is a pretty good composition, I think, for Bretonnia in general. Now, are there builds out there that hard counter this for Bretonnia? Of course there are. They have much more variety of units than Chaos does. As a matter of fact, I think just about everybody has a better variety of units. And not only units, but there's only a handful of Warrior of Chaos units that I really think are very cost effective at all. So yeah, you're kind of limited, but that doesn't mean you can't win. And you just got to get used to fielding a small army, and you got to have hard counters for what your opponent's likely to bring. And you can make some magic happen. So anyways, if you enjoyed the battle, you learned something, please hit like, please hit subscribe. Until the next time, this is the Magnus, and I'll see you on the ladder.